Hi, my name is Nellie and I am a lesbian and non-binary chef.
Nellie is a carefree, positive person from southern Sweden. They are non-binary, lesbian and a wizard in the kitchen. They have felt an attraction for girls since they were young.
When I was little, I was very interested about girls. I went to a website. I was like, oh, what happened if I press www.89.com? Because this is my birth year. And a site comes up, and there was in the left column there were a lot of names, and I scroll down and I find one name, and of course this was a porno, and I didn't know because I was only 12 years old, and I see this beautiful woman, and I had so big crush on this woman, you know.
But even if it was obvious to themselves that they felt this attraction, they didn't tell anyone during their whole adolescence.
It was very hard for me to tell for my mom about this, so I kept it a secret, and when I moved to Gothenburg, I felt like I needed to express myself a lot more than I did when I was living in that little city. Yeah, I came out as a lesbian. My mom and her sister, my aunt, they were very close-minded about it when I was young, and so that's why it took so long for me to come out, and because I was very, very like this. Oh no, it should be like the society say that. It should be a man and a woman, you know. Because of this, I tried to be with men like for years and years, and it didn't work.
But even so, Nellie didn't even try to be with a woman in any way during all those years.
No, never. I was too afraid what everyone was going to say. But when I moved here, I was like, I don't care about nothing. I just want to live my life and how I want to live, not what my mom or anyone want me to live.
So they finally came out as a lesbian and now lives a happy life with their girlfriend. And this is when they started thinking about their gender identity.
When I was very, very young, I didn't like dresses and this. And when I was like 16, I started to introduce more like feminine clothing, and I felt like this was never me. And when I moved here, I stopped completely with dresses and bras and high heels, and I stopped caring about makeup, but I care about my hair. I want to be natural.
So they understood that they were non-binary, and that was very liberating to them.
I felt like a huge part of me was relieved. I felt very relieved. It was like, oh yeah, this is what I want.
So then it was time for them to come out to their mom again.
My mom, she still hasn't adopted with it. Yeah, it's very difficult. She says girl all the time, and it irritated me like to the bone.
Maybe now you're thinking, non-binary lesbian? How is that possible? Doesn't lesbian mean that you're a woman who is in love with other women? Actually, not quite. There are lots of non-binary people who also identify as lesbians, and this is how Nellie describes it.
I've always been drawn to like the feminine body, and I really like this, and for me it felt like it was wrong to say that I'm either a man or a woman, you know? Yeah, and the easiest way to tell other people who's gonna understand me is to say that I'm lesbian, I'm with a woman.
Nellie is currently studying to become a chef, and therefore works and has internships in different restaurants.
Yeah, this is very good because this is my passion in life, and I know I'm going to work with food all my life. And in the kitchen, it's very dominated by men. and they don't understand. They understand the word lesbian, but they think it's like weird because you know it's a kind of older man, and they don't have any knowledge about what it is. They say girl, even if you tell them hundreds of times that you're not a girl.
And unfortunately, Nellie has met this attitude everywhere they've worked.
It's everywhere because when it comes to a certain age, they don't have the knowledge about the LGBTQ community and what they stand for and how many terms there is.
Nellie also thinks that this attitude and this lack of knowledge depends on other things.
It's also where you grew up, what your parents were thinking when you're growing up, and this. So it's like it depends on which people they meet.
So I asked them to dream up a scenario of how it would look like in the best of worlds.
I would imagine that everyone would be treated the same, even if it's a man or a woman or in between or whatever, if you're trans, if you're this or this. For me, this would be like the dream, and that we have the same value and we give the same respect to everyone. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, gray, whatever, I don't care.
And to get there, Nellie thinks that knowledge is the way.
I want people to get more knowledge about the LGBTQ plus community so they can understand more of how we are going through.